These haters, they won't fight me. Industry don't like pimpin', I just might be the coolest motherfucker, smoked out, playing nicely. Ballin' in this game, you can call me Jordan. Shake 'em all the way, egos broken on the floor, man. Shoes laced up, whole crowd looking at me. I hit 'em with the superstar, GOAT, just like Kobe. I leveled up, I leveled up, I leveled up. I leveled up, so look at me, I leveled up. I leveled up, I leveled up, I leveled up. I leveled up, so look at me, I leveled up. Game so hard, ain't no defense that can...
FCR 247, you're live in a mix. I'm your host, Twism Whitepiece, and today, man, I've got this spectacular, one-of-a-kind act, man. I tell you what, DRMAGDN is one of those things that you see as you're walking down a New York City street, but you never really grasp it until you pull out your phone and you record it, and then you play it backwards, and you watch it again, and you're like, I just witnessed that, and that's the kind of act we've got today. So, Charlie Z, aka DRMAGDN, my man, how are you today?
I am awesome, brother. How are you?
I'm blessed, man. Thank you for asking. Now you're in New York, right?
I'm in New York. Yeah, New York City, West Village, Christopher, it's amazing, man.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice. You're right across the pond. I'm over here in Toronto, so it's hop, skip, and a jump right there. But how's everything going for you? Third wave, fourth wave? What are we looking at over there?
I mean, it's an interesting situation, obviously, with the COVID thing, but actually, a lot of live gigs have come back, which has been really awesome. So that's been a really big deal. Like last night, I played a gig, for about 300 people, and
nice.
Solo Drummageddon gig and everything. I'm still sore from it because I'll just go like 2 or 3 hours straight, man, and then want to pass out afterwards. But yeah, they were really feeling it. It was really cool, and that's a gig in the Village and everything. So it's awesome, man.
Nice. Now, I know your genre is technically EDM, from what I understand. That seems to be the target. It says solo EDM artist, but I was watching some of the stuff. It seems like you're more capable of just whatever, man. I heard some rock in there. I heard some metal aspirations. A lot of different stuff, man. I really didn't know if EDM was consistent with what I would have called you. But what do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's actually a good point, man. Good catch on that. So EDM for me, I mean, electronic dance music is kind of pop now. Yeah. It's stuff that gets on the radio. There's an aesthetic that I put in my tracks that's very similar to the sounds I use in EDM, but it's not necessarily from an EDM standpoint.
Gotcha.
Because I'm bringing everything from everywhere. Like one of my tracks sounds like The Weeknd, another sounds like Avicii, Wake Me Up. Another sounds like more of a throwback anthemic, arena rock tune and everything. So every song has the same kind of elements in it as the modern pop EDM stuff. Yeah, but I'm coming from a song standpoint, man. So if the song dictates one style, I'll go there, man.
That's what it is. That's what it is, right? Exactly. Now, 20 countries, 41 U.S. states, 135 records. That's a resume. I like to talk about resumes, because numbers are important when you talk about experience, when you talk about capabilities. Somebody that's got hundreds of shows under their belt compared to somebody that's got 2 or 3, you're you'd weigh more heavy on the guy that's got the hundreds of shows. So talk to me a little bit about these 20 countries, like I said, 41 US states. How many shows did that accumulate to so far? What's your running total so far?
Dude, I can't even count. I mean, no, seriously, like it turns into a thing where I'll go on tour and I'll forget like where I'm at and everything. I go to the venue and people will like, oh my God, Charlie Z, what up, bro? And I'll remember, oh yeah, I played here. That's right. The burrito shop is around the corner. That coffee shop is over there. It's like that, a lot of, everything from the arenas and stadiums down to the clubs and everything. And, because I've toured with a ton of other people. I've toured by myself and everything. And the numbers have actually gone up since then. I mean, I'm up to 24 countries, 43 states now. Wow. And during the rest of COVID, hopefully by the time, next year, I'm hoping to get all 50 states, man. I've got 7 left. So
he's like bucket list.
I just like boom, boom, boom. And we're talking, I've been through a couple more of those states, but I haven't played them yet. So these are states that I have to play and everything. It's 7 left. I think it's North, South Dakota, Montana, West Virginia, Mississippi I've only driven through, and then Hawaii, Alaska, and that's it, man. Then I got the whole 50 states, you know.
I'll be honest with you. Some of those I don't even know if they know how to spell EDM out there. So I mean,
exactly.
So you're out here. You basically you know what you're doing. It sounds like you got the experience. I even read in there you did the Winter Olympics in Russia. Was that correct? Like,
yeah, that's one of those gigs, man. One of those gigs that So what happened is I get a call. This has to be a couple of years back. They asked me to play Giant Stadium, MetLife Stadium, sold out, right? Yeah. And it was on Thanksgiving that year. And I remember just, sitting on the drum set. They actually had to build the stage around the drums, right? Yeah. So I'm underneath I had to duck down in the hallway to just get out. They put me on the actual thing because I couldn't climb up the thing. Yeah. I had to stay on the drum throne, and they wheeled me out like a chariot. I sit there. I'm looking around 82,500 people. I'm like, oh my God, I made it. This is the biggest gig of my life. I'm never going to get bigger, the whole nine, get off that gig. And then I think a year later, I get a call to play the Olympics. And I'm like, holy crap. And it was funny too. I thought they were punking me.
Yeah.
I was like, they're like, hey, you want to play the Olympics? It's like, yeah, I also want a winning lottery ticket.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But they were like, no, it's the Olympics, it's Winter Olympics in Sochi, Russia and all that. It's like, isn't that 2 weeks away? They're like, yeah, but we're going to get it together. I'm like, I don't know if you can get visas that quick, but Putin, UN, they all kind of fast tracked everything, but there were no flights left by the time we got it. So 3 flights in, right? We sound check at the Olympics. We sound check at the dance club we play after. We go back and play the Olympics. We play the dance club after, stay up all night, 3 flights back. I'm like, did that even happen?
Wow. Yeah, that at that moment, it begins to be like a dream, right? You're like,
and luckily I had pictures, dude. Otherwise, geez.
Nice, though. 82,000. Congrats, man. I like that. That's what we're all playing for, right? That moment when you look out off that stage and you see all those people. I mean, that's what it's about, right? That's me. That's everything right there. So, okay. So moving on, man. We've got the experience. We've got the resume. You've got the talent. So we've structured all that and we've put all that into a new song, man. And it's called Get Tough, man. And if I heard you quote this correctly, you said it had over 6 million views right off the bat. Yeah,
6 million plays and views in a month. So now I'm over 12 million now with all 7 tunes in a year. And it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling because I've been I've been doing DRMAGDN. The story behind how I started is I got a call to play with this double platinum artist named Out of Sight. He's on Warner Brothers and everything. And he had a hit, Tonight is the Night. And it was on the radio everywhere around the country and everything. Okay. And they asked me like, hey, can you be, our cyborg drummer? And I'm like, what's that? Okay, need you to run tracks. We need you to, DJ, hype the crowd on the mic, sing backup, help run the band, band lead and drum, obviously during all that. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Totally. At that point, I only was doing acoustic stuff live. Like I can do electronic stuff in the studio. I produce, I music direct a ton of artists and everything. But at that point, I never got my live rig together. I hung up the phone. I'm like, crap.
What do I got?
I ran to Guitar Center, man. Center, grabbed all the stuff, tried to figure out how to plug it in, YouTube tutorials, manuals. Didn't sleep for a week. First rehearsal, great. Second rehearsal, great. First gig, college. Second gig, opening for Bon Jovi. And we smoothly sailed, and it was Lollapalooza, it was Warped Tour, it was Bamboozle Fest, it was a ton of gigs with tons of big artists at the time, 303 and Cobra Starship and Gym Class Heroes we were on tour with and everything. And I really started to hone this solo kind of thing because it was a smaller band kind of thing, DJ, keys, and then me kind of doing everything else. Right. And I noticed that people were like really looking at what I was doing because it's very visceral. It's like
you're all over.
Crazy. I was like, you know what, man? I think I could do this myself if I just, call my friends, my American Idol and voice singer friends, sing the song. I'll produce everything, write the lyrics, the melodies, and all that stuff. And then I'll just do it live. And it's been really, really huge. And in the last year, I doubled and tripled down because of the shutdown. There's no live gigs. So I went really hard into production and, had these 7 tunes on the record and Get Tough. anthem. It's got a full orchestra on the track. It's got Manny Cabo from The Voice and La Voz. He's unbelievable bilingual singer. Danny Flam, the horns from All the Lights, Kanye and Rihanna, which is nuts.
Yeah. No, I know that one.
Viva La Vida, you know, Dave Egger, Viva La Vida full play. A bass player from Alicia Keys and Christina Aguilera. The guy who mastered bass player is Al Cardi. Mastering was done by Luca Perciolesi from Studio DMI, and he did Lean On, Major Lazer, he did Bieber, he did David Guetta, everything, but it's full orchestra, it's an anthem. The lyric is "Get tough like Rocky, enough excuses, baby." And I was like, yeah, man. And now it's really a lot of fitness guys, you know, jumped on and everything, and you know, it's just so cool to see this song have its gigantic life. Yeah, and it's, definitely. I did extreme sports in the music video, and I did like a reverse Rocky girl power take on all the Rocky training montages for the lyric video. Yeah, really crazy, man. It's going really well.
Yeah, I was showing my son. He checks out all the videos with me. He's really big into music and everything. He was loving it. He's a little guy, you know what I mean? But still, he knows good music. You know, you always tell him the kids know, man. They know good music, man. They just start bobbing and listening. You know what I mean? So he was checking out your videos. He really loves your drum stuff, man. He loves it. Just nice. Yeah, man. It's cool, man. But it's, you know, man, it's nice. The world we live in today, you know, yes, it's very online. It's very streaming. It's very, you know, video in your face. But at the same time, I think it also allows people to show off, you know, talents or abilities or things that, you know, maybe I've never seen, maybe, you know, my son's never seen some, you know, and so you're gifting people something. You're gifting them, you know, an experience. You're gifting them maybe something, you know, a different path. And they say, wow, man, that guy can drum like crazy. I think I can do that. You know what I mean? And so that is awesome because, you know, I believe firmly that, you know, without the use of internet or things like that, people wouldn't be able to show off. You know, you'd probably still be, take away the internet, you know, internet doesn't exist. You would still be at New York City, you know, and what are the odds and the likelihoods of Winter Olympics and 82,000s? And, you know, I mean, at some point you have to sit back and say, you know what, thankfully I had a way to put it all out there. Right. And I like what you said, you know, during the COVID, you sat down, you really kind of muscled it out, you know, production wise. And I think a lot of people forgot during COVID to work on their craft. Right. Yes. And so those who took the time to work on their craft, they're coming out of this thing and they're like, wow, look at me now. You know what I mean? And it sounds like that kind of happened to you a little bit. You know, you were able to refine, maybe in a sense, your style, your sound, your production, your fire inside of you. And you came out of this and delivered something that seems, I mean, come on, man, 12 million. Wow. I mean, good job. You know what I mean? So how, you know, what'd you do? How did you, was it an inner thing? Did you just look around the world and say, you know what, I just need to take some time for myself? Or how did you decide at that moment that, you know, with everything that you have done, that you still want to go back to the production level and really crunch the numbers on that?
That's a great question. I mean, so I basically write all my tunes. I write the lyrics, the melodies, the arrangements, you know, produce everything myself. I mix everything myself. And I can even master myself. I just like to have someone just double check and put the cherry on top, depending on, you know, what. I have the guy who did The Weeknd and Justin Bieber. I've got another guy who's dead, and I have another guy. Like my guys are awesome, but I can master myself, and then it's really just putting together, you know, a couple really awesome American Idol voice singer friends of mine. I also have the one of the lead singers of Velvet Revolver that's on another track and everything. So I like to take different guys for a different song. It's like, oh, that gritty vocal on this really acoustic pop tune would sound really dope. Or that girl who sounds like Christina Aguilera would sound dope on this real EDM, like club banger and everything, just to try to kind of mix it up. But, you know, really sitting down, you know, you touched on the internet, and I'll touch on this too. Just talking to someone yesterday about how I created the idea of this a while ago, many years. Probably about a decade ago is when I started to think about maybe I can do the drums, DJ live at the same time, and then produce tracks that work in pop and EDM and all that stuff. it wasn't ready yet, man. It was too soon. It was too soon. The sounds on Ableton and Pro Tools and the samples and different things weren't there yet. The plugins weren't there yet. It was around, I guess, 2013-ish, 2011, 2013, that I think Skrillex came out. Skrillex, I heard, is like, what is this, man? Loud, abrasive. It sounded like, 9 Inch Nails, Prodigy, Rage Against the Machine, and then
just smashed together in a blender.
Just kind of put together in EDM and dance music shit. Is like, that's what I want to do, because that's that punchiness, that attack, that real intensity of the sounds you can now do on just your laptop. And that's what I've been doing. Plus the internet was still, the internet was big back then, but it wasn't as open as it is now. So right now, everyone has their own little lane where you can go and, you stick in your lane, you find your niche, you really double, triple down on it and everything. And then marketing, branding wise, people start to go, oh, this guy's legit. When I played the gig last night, there were people like, yeah, man, I know you. Listen to that. Like, oh, yeah. And it's like, these are people I've never met, and they just happen to come in the club. And they're like, oh, dude, you're Drumagaddn. Holy crap. You're here. And it's happening, man. Like, so the internet wasn't ready, but once you sit down and you really get a focus, like for me, I have a set idea of production, really big tribal drums, along with really punchy EDM kind of sampled drums and everything. We kind of look at both of them per track and go, how do we layer these two together? And then you build a song with a really good lyric, a really good hook, you build that on top, and you just produce it in a way where you keep on, it's almost like Michelangelo. He said,
it's a work in progress. Oh yeah.
It really is, but it takes forever. They asked him, it's like, well, how do you do what you do? And he goes, well, I saw the angel in the marble and I carved until I set him free. That was the lyric. And I was like, shoot. In fact, I'm going to probably make that a lyric. I was going to say, wait. That's a really good lyric.
You're stealing things now. Hold on, wait. This is FCR 247.
That's it, exactly.
No, okay. So you embrace the internet. You understand that it helped in some ways. It definitely fueled the potential reach of whatever you're trying to put out there. So that's a good thing. I mean, in my case, I'm an independent rapper. So for me to be able to still do what I love after so many years, and to be able to do it effectively and with results, and not just be some guy in a city in the middle of a shady bar thinking he's something, right? You know what I mean? To actually be able to take it seriously, do my job the correct way, and even build off of it. That's how I built the radio station. Everything was off of the brand, and one brand led to another, and so on and so forth. And so for me, without the internet, I would have been nothing, right? And I can accept that. People today all like, you're just an internet rapper. I guess I saw it ahead of time, right? Because back then everybody was making fun of me while I was building my life, building my basis, building it online. And now here days later, I have friends that they gave their best shot and they didn't get anywhere. And it was because they didn't embrace the idea that the internet is such a great tool. I mean, it is a really great tool. So, but let's keep moving on, because speaking of tools and the internet use of a tool, shouts out to Soho Johnny Pasquale from Soho Johnny. This guy, he sets up a lot of events, and he sets up a lot of great things, and he uses the internet, and he uses virtual, streaming platforms. In fact, I had my very first virtual online show through him. So, I'm always blessed to be able to say that I was able to do an event with him, because he is great and amazing. But he's got something coming up that you're going to be involved in that I have the most belief in, that is going to be an internet sensation. I believe that this thing, I know it's a physical event, but I believe that the response online to this is going to be phenomenal. I mean, it's in a sport of 9/11 for one. Two, it brings together genres of all kinds. And for three, it's actually for a worthwhile purpose. Let Me Help Incorporated is like one of those just absolutely amazing, help you out kind of places. And so you've put this together. Now you're a part of this. And so I've opened the door, and I'm going to let you go ahead and tell it like it is now.
Yeah, man. I think you might have been on the same show. Were you on the November show?
No, I was on the Christmas show. I was on the Christmas show in
right after.
Yeah, it was the one right after that, man. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I did the November show.
Nice.
And I've known, Soho Johnny over the years, just in passing. We never really made a big connect because I came from John Velasco Mills. He's the big manager.
Oh, wow. Shouts out to him too.
Everyone, amazing. He's been, he's OG. He's literally, he signed Black Sabbath, Yes, ABBA, Tina Turner, Marvin Gaye. He did Thomas the Tank Engine. He like literally, this guy is amazing.
I'm standing in line. Trust me, I'm standing in line. I've got my resume. Like, I'm just patiently waiting.
No, everyone is, man. Now that guy is, and he's been a big fan of mine for real. Like, we've been friends, and he's been a fan of me. DRMAGDN. He's thrown me gigs for years and years with different artists, producing gigs and everything. So literally, I'm doing all these tracks. I'm doing all my stuff. I jump on the November concert, it goes really well. And then I actually filmed it here. Here's the big drum.
There we go. Yeah, we had to see that. Yep. Yeah, we needed to see that.
This is a live stream kit,
We needed to see that. Yep.
That's where I filmed the November gig.
Nice.
And then little by little, as the songs kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, I just hit him. I was like, hey, I'm blowing up. We should do something. He goes, well, there's a 9/11 concert that we were thinking about, but we can't get it together. There's not a lot of time. It's like, well, I specialize in logistics. This is what I do as a producer, music director, and everything. Let me just take over and let me just make this happen, man.
Yeah.
And literally, it went from being like, oh, we have this cool idea to the biggest 9/11 event in New York City, in Manhattan, actually on the date. They're doing one on the 21st at Jones Beach outdoors. And they're going to be doing one on the 12th with only comedians at MSG.
Nice.
We're the only game in town for the 20th anniversary on the actual date. It's during Fashion Week, and it's going to be a really big Fashion Week because things are kind of sort of open. And then it's a week before Broadway reopens. So it's like this really amazing pocket. So we've been asking a ton of celebrities and different people. We got Fred Schneider from B-52s. We got Randy Edelman. We've got Kim Sledge from Sister Sledge. We got We Are Family. We have Afro Man on the bill now, which is crazy because I got high. Krisha Turner, multi-platinum Canadian pop star. And like tons and tons of celebrities. And then I'm headlining them, which is nuts. So I get to headline. I've been, I'm going to host and run the whole thing. Soho Johnny, one of the nicest guys in the entire world. Philanthropist. He's a celebrity himself. He's just, everything he touches, turns to gold because he's such a really good guy. Him, John Velasco, obviously. Shout out to Eileen Shapiro for hooking this up. World Star PR and Jimmy Starr. They just crush it too. So all of us as the team, John, Eileen, Jimmy, and me, we've really been quarterbacking this. So we have on 9/11, Saturday 9/11 in New York City at the Roomy Event Space, 229 West 28th between 7th and 8th. It's going to be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. red carpet, right? Full out paparazzi, all the different stars are going to walk and everything. It's crazy. 6:45 to about 7 o'clock, we're going to do a fashion show in the side room where I'm going to take, I have an entire dance troupe doing flips, choreographed dancing, flips, contemporary ballet, jazz, modern, all that stuff. So EDM tracks.
That's great. That's so great.
Multiple lines, man. So I'm doing the DRMAGDN Couture line, and I'm also doing the Get Tough athletic wear brand. And between those two, you got Get Tough like Rocky, enough excuses, baby, everywhere. Yoga pants, tank tops, and all that. But I also have the couture line that's very high fashion, and I have Hisham Benz, who's this, he's a Moroccan and Parisian designer, and he's really, really big in the fashion industry. He does the royal family in Morocco. That's what he does. A lot of celebrities in LA.
That's credentials
He's designing
enough.
clothes. We do that, and then 7 to 11 p.m. is the biggest charity gala ever. It's for Let Me Help. It's for Operation Warrior Shield. which is actually they give service dogs to veterans and first responders. And these dogs are great, man. They can zip things. They can actually dial and call, for help and stuff. Dogs, crazy. Wow. So that's what we're doing. So it's a big charity event and everything. It's going to be massive. I mean, fingers crossed it's going to sell out. I mean, we have the craziest lineup in the world. And, I get to fully, this is the first big show back for me where I can have full production, video screens, CO2 cannons and all that stuff. And the big kit and just go nuts, man. I get to play all the new tracks that I've been sitting on for a year that blew up. So it's really cool.
Super cool. Super cool. All right. Well, we've come to the end of our conclusion here. I've thoroughly enjoyed spending this time with you, man. I really like meeting new people. I like the way you do like cross genre stuff, man. I do that in my music, but I also try to do that in life too, right? So I try to learn from different point of views, learn from different musical styles, learn from different, influences. That way, when it's all said and done, I can say, well, this man taught me something and this guy over here taught me something and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate you sitting down and opening my eyes to something I would have never known, man. I would have never stumbled upon you if it wasn't for World Star and stuff like that. I mean, obviously that's, not something I really look at, but man, now that I have, man, I'm definitely going to go check out more because wow, insane, brother. Insane, man. Let me tell you. So real quick with the last couple of minutes, man, where can people find all of this, man? I know it's all one name, but I'm going to let you drop it out there.
It's at DRMAGDN, DRMAGDN. And that's everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all the things. It's everywhere and everything. Nice. And the funny part is that two things. When I first made the name DRMAGDN, I used to type it into Google and it used to say, "Did you mean dragon?" I'm like, no, I didn't mean dragon. And it took me a long time to get the SEO to be able to have it switch over. It said that I decided to take my logo and put a dragon underneath the D, right? Nice. And it looks a little Mortal Kombat-ish. And it turned into my DRMAGDN Couture line. It's a dragon, and that's the whole vibe and everything. So awesome. Years and years later, people are still like, is it Dr. Magden? What are we looking at here? I'm like, no, man, that's my evil villain name. But DRMAGDN. So on the latest track on Get Tough, at the very end of the song, I actually have an entire cheerleading troupe spell it out like a cheer, DRMAGDN, so people can kind of remember it now. So check it out at the end of the Get Tough, man. It's dope. But DRMAGDN everywhere, man. And 9/11, tickets are available. Eventbrite. They're on my sites. They're on everyone's sites. So Hojani, Let Me Help, and all that stuff too. So perfect. Rock and roll, man.
Perfect. Well, man, thank you so much, Charlie Z, aka DRMAGDN, man. I really appreciate you taking your time out. And of course, man, this show was brought to you by World Star PR, The Spotted Cat Magazine, FCR 247, and of course, man, all you guys are out there listening and watching and supporting, man, go check him out, go listen to him, and check out Get Tough, man. It is insane. You got to watch it. You got to see it. You got to be a part of it. FCR 247.